This week on Three Dad Bods. Then you have a guy that I wish would just shut up. He's got the election like sewed up if he just keep his mouth shut. And he's at a campaign event yesterday.
Do you
He's
think
so
that's why
in
he
love
hasn't
with
debated?
himself. Oh gosh, Trump is such an egomaniac. And so
But do you think that's why, though? Do you think that's why he stayed away from debates? Is they've basically said, you
dude,
are so far ahead that actually opening your mouth may make things worse.
well, one thing I noticed, you didn't see a lot of politics in this Super Bowl. There's no
Mm.
presidential message. Trump did even put a commercial, which was, I think, was a mistake. The only smart politician in the Super Bowl was RFK Jr.
Yep.
That commercial reminded Americans about America in the past without being over the top, like Trump can be at times. And it really rang with me. And actually, a lot of the conservative talk heads that I've been listening to, last night and today are saying that was a brilliant move because
Yeah.
people are so sick and tired of those two.
Yeah.
I mean, most Americans right now are looking at it and saying there's no choice. We either got to vote for Biden, who's might not even be in the election at the end when it's over, or Trump, who can't keep his damn mouth shut.
So you brought up a commercial,
Yeah.
from Robert
Tell-
Kennedy Jr.
Mm-hmm.
And we've kind of talked a little bit about him over the last couple months. I think for the most part, I think you and I kind of see a lot of eye to eye stuff on politics, and I think we both kind of see a lot of positives that he puts forth. The thing that really concerns me, and now I look at it now as almost cruel and not right what we're doing. But I'm looking at the last few speaking engagements of our current president,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know how. First of all, I don't know how this press secretary spins that he's in great condition.
Oh, dude, no one
He is
believes it.
not in good condition at all. He's not in good health. He's confused. Yeah, and it's look,
82% of American people today in a poll say he is too old to be president of the United States. That dude's done.
I don't know if it's so much his age as his mental
His mental
capacity.
capacity, yeah.
Right. You tell me if he would be able to hold a 2-hour interview with
Oh,
somebody.
no.
No, he would not. And the other thing I was thinking about the other day, when Obama was president, when Trump was president, they would always have these televised speeches all the
Mhm.
time. We've done this, we've done that. I've called on Congress, like all the time. You would see a press conference with the president. When's the last time you've seen a local network interrupt television so we could hear what the president has to say?
Well, we kind of did last week. I mean, the reason it was all political because the special prosecutor that the Republican Congress had to investigate Biden for the same crime that they're trying to prosecute Trump for, decided that he wasn't going to prosecute Biden, obviously because of
Why
some
was that?
mental disabilities. Right.
I'm sorry, what? He's not going to prosecute? Why?
Because he's a fuddy-duddy old man that everybody in a jury box is going to say, wow, we can't put this guy in jail. He doesn't even know what planet he's on. That's the
So
problem.
somebody appointed to a committee came to the conclusion that we cannot prosecute this person because they're not mentally capable, yet this person is mentally capable of being
President.
of the United States.
Well, from what I heard, Jill Biden went ballistic, and Joe decided to have his press conference that night.
Mm.
I
How did that go?
listened to it live.
How'd it go?
It was a disaster. Did you know the Did you know the Egyptian prime minister is now living in Mexico City? He is
Yeah.
a president of Mexico. I don't know
Mhm.
if you knew
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The people of Egypt elect Mexico's president.
Oh,
I learned that. It's
and
fascinating,
Biden
the
Biden
connection between the 2.
single-handedly stopped Egypt from attacking Israel. Did you know that too?
Look, Carl, I could see where it would be mixed up because they both have pyramids.
I mean Biden's really rocking it lately. I just, and then you know what the scary thing is? They asked Kamala if she's ready to go. She's like, "Oh yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready." And I'm thinking, this is
The
this is
sky
worse.
is up in the sky because it's so beautiful being in the sky above the sky. But once you hit the sky, then the sky becomes more skyful and the sky becomes more sky meaning in a skyful
Well,
way.
then you have a guy that I wish would just shut up. He's got the election like sewed up if he just keep his mouth shut. And he's at a campaign event yesterday.
Do you
He's
think
so
that's why
in
he
love
hasn't
with
debated?
himself. Oh gosh, Trump is such an egomaniac. And so,
But do you think that's why though? Do you think that's why he stayed away from debates is they basically said you
dude,
are so far ahead that actually opening your mouth may make things
oh,
worse.
well, and I think he thinks he's safe because he's at this where everybody loves him. You know how Trump is, and he starts talking like I mean, is almost
Like the
effeminate. Yeah, and I was listening to him in this particular situation. Who basically said, I agree with him in principle. Hey, if NATO, you don't start paying your dues, you don't start helping out. Hey, we're out of this.
why are
That's
we
what he.
paying for everything?
We're not paying
Why
for
are we
everything,
funding everything?
but he
Yeah.
says we'll let Russia invade you, and I'm just like, oh, why? And then he's talking about Haley's husband who's serving in the military and just blasts him as an idiot. And I'm like, Trump, you can't do that to the veterans that are gonna be voting for you. They're not gonna
Yeah.
I mean, this is just absolutely insane, man. And so, I mean, okay, RFK, let's
Well,
I
but
wanna
before
tell
we
you
go
something.
there,
Yeah,
let's back up to what you were talking about. There's something you brought up. You
okay.
brought up Russia, and I know you listen to
I watched that Tucker
um
one. That was an interesting.
yeah, I know you listen to Tucker. I didn't listen to all of it, but I listened to the majority of it. Um and it's what I want. I'm always hesitant. Anything that comes from the press, I'm automatically going to
Not gonna believe it.
question. I'm going to wonder, why are you saying this?
Mhm.
And so right before that was released and they started talking that it was going to be on X, immediately Hillary Clinton goes before the press
No,
and
she was not happy.
and and talks about, hey, Americans need to stay. Do not watch this, dude. Okay, that right there is going to be the first thing that says, yeah, I'm
Go ahead and
watching
watch
this
it.
now.
Yeah.
I am going to watch this now. And then you've got the press secretary, just stay away from this. It's almost. Then I want to know, what do they not want me to hear? What do they not want me to know?
Well
Because there's no way you can tell me that everything they have said about Putin in the press is good or not good. I'm sorry, is correct.
here's
And
you wanna know
go
the
ahead,
honest
go
feeling
ahead,
I have
go
about
ahead.
Putin after watching that. I still think he's a slick operator. I mean, he 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 worked Biden over. He can work Biden over in a second. I think he also could probably work Trump over mentally. Um,
Do you feel that he is a very intelligent person?
oh, super intelligent guy.
Yeah, that
Very
is
educated.
exactly what I thought.
Very
I
educated.
and I felt the same way that you did. I feel almost like, number one, he's incredibly educated, especially with history.
Oh,
He
yeah.
is very knowledgeable and understanding about history. And number two, I feel like he is a master manipulator and
Absolutely.
able to make you do what he wants you to do.
Well, that's kinda why I don't trust what he's saying completely. Now, is he right about the history? Yes. Does
Yeah.
he really believe that NATO is a threat to Russia? Absolutely. I really think he does. Does he have this dream which he would admit to Tucker, and Tucker I mean, you can say, well, why weren't you harder on Putin? The reality was, it's the first conversation anybody's had with Putin in several years.
True.
And he did ask some zingers, or he did push Putin at the end. We'll talk about that in a second. But um, basically, though, Putin feels that the old Soviet Union or the old borders should be the borders now. He really does. And that includes Estonia, Latvia, some of those republics down in the south, and
He's talking
Ukraine.
about borders that go all the way back to the 8th century, not
And
just
there's
in Soviet
historical
times,
precedents
like a
for it.
very
Yeah.
long time.
And
Yeah,
Tsarist Russia before World War One and Two, that was Russia.
right.
And for and
In
yes, I
1700s, 1600s, 1500s.
well, Ukraine's had its own unique culture. I won't. I mean, for him to say that there isn't one, that's a little disingenuous. I disagree with him historically on that. Of course, he's Russian and he's going to say
But
what he
it's not the
wants.
whole country he's going after. Is
No,
that not
no, it's
correct?
just the
It's a
eastern.
portion.
It's the eastern
Yeah,
blocks, those two cities, and then Crimea. Crimea is where everybody's upset. Crimea is where the Mediterranean Navy base is. That helps Russia project naval strength.
brings up a port.
The United States doesn't like it.
Yeah,
The other thing is Russia is rich in natural resources. And the one thing that they're
especially
starting to
oil.
talk about, that pipeline, that
Mhm.
I mean, I believe Putin on that part. Putin didn't blow up his own damn pipeline. The United States
No,
blew up the pipeline. And we're
yeah,
lying. We've been lying ever since. And there's a good damn reason for it, because we are now overpricing natural gas and making the Europeans pay dearly for that energy. And it's all coming from us. I mean, we're bankrolling this war anyway, but we're also making our pound of flesh from the Europeans on this. So, I mean, that's why when Trump makes those comments, I'm kind of like, it's kind of like the Middle Eastern wars. We made our pound of flesh in Iraq. We didn't lose that much money. There's oil wells there. There's natural gas to sell to the Europeans. So
we could
I
easily be as efficient as Russia is with oil in our own country too.
all it is just to weaken the Russian army and military. This whole thing, and I'm not.
Which this whole conflict could have been ended 3 years ago.
Well, what I don't understand is
In fact, it was.
here we are saying that we're for human rights, we're for
Life,
we value human life, and we
not true.
watch these two countries slaughter 300,000 or 400,000 of each other,
We
and
pushed it.
we just go ahead and bankroll it and act like it's an independent or
So
liberty
we can
fight.
rebuild it and line the
Zelensky's
pockets.
those guys are crooked as hell. Ukraine,
His wife has really big boobs now.
yeah. I mean, the thing is, this is a European affair. George Washington warned us in his first inaugural address: do not get involved in European affairs. And what have we done now for the last, what,
Get
50
involved with
years?
everybody's affairs.
Dude,
That's
it's
except for our
crazy.
own. Except for our own.
And then look at our border.
I know.
Anyway, so as far as Putin, though, I mean, he damn well invaded a Ukraine, and he knows it. I mean, he can pontificate
He's not
about
denying
history.
that.
Yeah,
But he's also talking about how, like, there was a resolution already in place to have stopped it. And then the United States started pumping in all this money.
I think the other thing is where Putin is a real bastard is with his own people. He's killed so many dissidents or people that disagree with him. I mean, you know what's funny
You
though?
think the body count is higher than 95?
Than Clinton, I'm not sure. He and Hillary have been credited with a few political assassinations.
They
Just
probably
kidding.
share the
Just
same
kidding, Spotify.
hitman.
I didn't really say that, or YouTube. Anyway, the reality is, um, I really can't. I mean, in terms of morality, I guess you could say Putin's worse than our worst guy, but we are quickly
I don't see
rising
him
to that
sniffing little
point.
girls' hair.
Oh, dude, it's a mess. It really is a
Yeah.
mess, and so And that's where I'm saying we have a leadership vacuum in our own damn country, and the question is, who do we fill it with?
So is Kennedy the guy to clean up this stuff?
Well, let's talk a little bit about what he believes in, and that's why I wanted to talk about
Let's
earlier.
let's look at third party candidates in the past because
Oh, they
I've
do
voted for
horrible.
them.
They do horrible.
Johnson, who I voted for twice,
Me too. Once.
had maybe 8% of the electoral vote. I can't remember the lady's name who I voted for last time. I apologize.
Yeah.
Maybe another 8%, but Kennedy's coming in with
Well,
poll numbers above 30, close to 35%.
the key is to be on the ballot, though. That's where the rubber hits the road, where his organization can get the actual votes in. He's only been approved in 2 or 3 states so far. Utah, one of them, by the way. He got
Yeah.
on the ballot here. I think New Hampshire. I think.
Do you think falling behind his last name and his history is a big boost for him to pull some of the old Democrats, a lot of the old people who felt that Kennedy, a lot of people really respected Kennedy,
I
and
I
not
think
only John, but Bobby also.
I think you're going to get a lot of younger people on his train eventually because here's why. Kennedy, I mean, by the way, if you want to know who has a smoking hot wife, Kennedy does. And
He
he's
really
not a
does.
bad looking guy himself. If I was gay,
Ripped.
definitely.
Dude's freaking ripped.
Dude's stud. He's better looking than Biden. I mean, Putin. But anyway,
What
that's
about
if I
Putin
was
on a
gay.
horse, though, topless?
That's true. That's true. It's funny. You can talk about this stuff these days versus the 80s. If we even said that, you'd be like all over me right now about that. But no, the nice thing about Kennedy is during COVID, he kept his head.
Right.
Okay. Some
He
people
kept the
say, well, he's a
facts.
vaxxer.
He
He's
kept the
anti.
facts in front of people is what he did.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he says, take care of your own damn body. You don't have to
Right.
have the government take care of it.
Government does not need to be involved. That
Now,
was always his stance from the beginning.
is he an old fashioned Democrat? Sure. He's a union guy. He probably is a little more socialist than I really want him to be. I mean, he's not as free market, but you know what? The crony capitalism that's going on right now, maybe there needs to be a correction made. I mean, are the 1% really paying their fair share right now? No.
Sure taking the hell a lot away from us, and
Yeah.
we're over 50%
Yeah.
funding this goddamn war,
Oh,
and
yeah.
I'm making better money than I ever have, but I'm not getting better money than I've ever had.
Oh, yeah. And it's like I don't blame the business owners for wanting to scrape together as much profit as they can. But on the other hand, it's not helping us earn more money as incomes in this country, which is putting us farther and farther behind the 8 ball. You had Biden, get this.
That commercial that
Biden's message to the country last night,
I saw the, "Uh, you
potato
got
chips,
you got potato
shrinkflation,
chips. Yeah,
you
come
damn ice
on,
cream
Jack.
makers,
Come
no
on,
more
Jack."
small buckets of ice cream.
It's like, you
Bring
know
in the
what?
big
If
bucket.
you weren't taxing the hell out of every business
Oh,
and
yeah.
making gas so incredibly expensive that the cost of putting goods into people's places costs so much money, blame yourself.
I mean, if we had a real independent, um, free market independent, I'd probably be on board with that guy versus Kennedy. But I'm telling you though, man, I feel dirty voting for Biden or for Trump. I really would. I just think that, at least I feel like Robert would be a honest and represent the country the best way he can. And I don't care about the Kennedy
But I
persona.
think a
I
lot
mean,
of
to
people
me,
do.
it's not a big
You and
deal.
I probably don't as much, but
Yeah.
I think especially some of the older people can, and look, we know now it's not true, but I think up until early 80s, that Kennedy mystique was honest,
Mhm.
good,
Unless you're banging
values
Marilyn
and
Monroe.
morals.
Unless you're
Yeah,
banging,
but that's
yeah.
what I mean. Like we know what happened, but you look at the, his stance against Cuba.
Yeah.
You know, you look at his stance definitely against Vietnam. did not want to put troops inside of there. And I think that's some of the stuff you hear Junior talking about. Hey, we're going to pull people out of Ukraine. We don't need
Well,
people in there.
with Kennedy, here's the problem with Kennedy. Well, he never got a second administration, which I'm disappointed he didn't, because I think he would have turned out to be one of the better presidents that we've ever had. Because the first administration, the Bay of Pigs, was already started by Eisenhower,
Mm,
and he did abandon the military operation on the beach, basically. And I think there's a lot of manipulation. A lot of people surrounding Kennedy at the time were giving him false information. It almost pushed us into a nuclear war.
yeah.
I mean, to be
And
frank,
picture this, okay?
yeah.
Picture this scenario because a lot of people are not familiar with the Bay of Pigs. Or Cuba is 90 miles away from Florida.
Mhm.
90 miles.
You could spit and
Y-
hit it. Okay.
Absolutely. So any missiles or anything being launched from Cuba are going to hit the United States.
And fast.
Yes, absolutely. So that was a huge traumatic crisis. I mean,
Well,
it was like from what my siblings tell me and my mom and stuff, like they would have these bomb drills all the
mhm.
time in school, where you would go underneath your desk and attack with preparation for an attack.
My
That was a
dad
real thing.
my dad was in high school in Germany because his dad was a military officer. He was in
Mm,
it's called the Fulda Gap. It's right where the Russian divisions would have come through and crushed the, NATO forces at the time. I mean, Russia is a ghost of what it used to be. Um,
yeah,
that Soviet that those Soviets were powerful in terms of their military. I mean, we would have it would have been a bloody war, and, Kennedy saved our asses by being tough in terms of, that blockade, telling the Russians to turn around. I mean I mean,
yeah.
yeah, I mean, the other thing is, but here's the thing, it was Vietnam that got Kennedy killed, because they hit the war machine in the United States wanted that war. Even Eisenhower warned right at
Had
the end
to,
of his administration, "Hey, the military
had to for the
complex is getting
economy.
f yeah, it's far too powerful, far too powerful." And Kennedy finally was like, "You know what? That's it. I'm done. I'm pulling us out." And there were some people who are saying, "No, it's a bad idea." And then he's dead within a month.
Yep.
Uh, Coincidence? Oh, hell no. I
No,
mean, you know,
absolutely. I think we know that.
yeah, we all know that.
More than one person,
And his own
with
party.
a
It's
shot.
probably
Yeah,
it's probably his vice president pulled it off. So,
yeah.
anyway, that's why I say, I mean, Teddy was a loser. Uh, I was glad he wasn't. I'm glad he never was president. Bobby, he was a hothead. I don't know if he would have been a good president either. John was a good president because he was laid back, and I think Robert kind of mimics his uncle, and I think Junior, that I'm talking about, RFK Jr.
He's also
I
very young.
He's young. I think
Yeah.
I mean, he's very intelligent. I don't know what his foreign policy is yet. I need to look at that. But I mean, I'll be honest. I signed up with his
He
campaign.
wants
I'm
to
gonna get
disband he wants to disband the CIA.
hey, I might volunteer, man. I might. I might. We'll see. I'm
Yeah.
still waiting. Still got a few things I got to look at first. But
We're gonna
dude, I'm
start hitting here in the summer months here, and things are gonna start to get pretty interesting. And
yeah,
I'm I'm sure I think the Democrats understand. You're starting to see now CNN throwing Biden under the bus.
yeah.
I think they are understand that they cannot win with him as a
I'm
candidate.
telling you,
It
it's gonna
just
be
is not going
Michelle
to happen.
O. Michelle O for in the convention, or Hillary.
I
Hillary's
hope they
throwing
put
her
her up
hat
there
in
because she
too.
won't win. She
Hillary's
won't
throwing
win.
her hat. Yeah. Could you imagine if Hillary's the candidate? Oh my gosh.
I don't
Oh,
think you're going to go 3 times with that.
I think
And
I think Trump will be the Republican candidate, because I don't think the trial in Georgia or the Florida special counsel
it doesn't
is
have any teeth.
doesn't have any teeth, and he's going to be
No.
He's gonna be the candidate for sure.
And and
I
I can't
mean,
imagine they would put Gavin Newsom in the Democratic Party. I think that Trump would just tear him apart as
oh
far
yeah.
as a debate because he has a proven record of being unsuccessful, an
Well, well,
incredibly
well.
visual record of
DeSantis
being
ripped him apart.
unsuccessful.
Did you
He
see
did.
that DeSantis just did
Absolutely.
him?
Yes, I did. And he side skirted everything. And everybody saw that.
The
Everybody
bet.
saw what a complete failure he is.
Well, the Democrats aren't going to nominate anybody but a woman to replace Biden because against Trump, Trump will open his damn mouth in the debate, say something
You
nasty.
know what? Trump
You
is
know he
not
will.
going to gain more votes. Let's be honest about that.
Yeah, he's not.
The people who are going to vote for Trump are going to vote for him no matter what, because it is a very cultish following. It's
So who
incredibly cultish.
so who do you think hurts the Democrats more? Having RFK as an independent candidate? Because I someone said it hurts Trump, and I'm like, no, his
No, his
35% of
voters are
solid.
already set.
Yeah,
His voters are already
you're
set.
not getting
Whoever's
any of
going to
those
vote for
guys.
him, yeah, you're not getting anybody. Nobody's going, oh, I didn't realize that about Trump.
I think RFK gets the independents, and he's going to pull some Democrats, the old Democrats, the
Yeah. I,
Union Democrats.
I think the longer they keep Biden there, the
The worse it's
more
getting.
downhill they go. Like he's got it's
They
like a
got to make a
12%
decision
approval
soon.
rating.
They
How do
got
you
to
put
make a
somebody up?
decision soon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like you're talking in the teens for your approval rating. You can't put that person up
How they
in a
gonna?
new election.
So how are they going to do it? How are they going to retire the old war horse to the
I
country?
think that he's going to make a statement of that he's not going to run, that he just wants to enjoy retirement, and then he'll try to walk off the stage somehow and be lost,
Oh,
and we'll
that's going to
never
be
hear from him.
that's going to hurt them though. They have nobody other than that no name guy running against him. I don't even know who it
Uh, they
is.
they're hit on Gavin Newsom. They got Michelle Obama that they've got,
Yeah.
and even Kamala. I think which
Kamala.
honestly would be just the absolute horrific thing to do is to put her in a place. But that's my opinion. I think she's the village idiot. I think she's proved it many times again. And I really don't think that no matter who they put in there, I don't think they win the election. And if they do, I think that the calls of voter fraud are going to be incredibly loud, louder
Here,
than they've ever been today, that it's going to be too hard to ignore.
I'll tell you. Here's the scenario: if Biden bows out, which he probably will, Kamala is running. Trump gets in a little more trouble or hot water than we think. RFK has a damn good
He has a good
chance
opportunity. He
of
probably
pulling
has
this
the
off
best opportunity outside Perot,
for a third party.
you know, for a third party candidate. Yeah,
All he would have to do is split their vote, both of them, and hit 32%. Could you imagine that?
I would
And
love to hear a debate with
and
him
beat
and
him.
Trump
Oh yeah.
and
Can they keep
whoever. I
him
would
out of the
love that.
debates? The other two
Yeah, they
parties?
did. They have,
I know,
Johnson didn't get invited to any of them.
but he's polling much higher than Johnson. Much
Yeah,
higher.
and I think that he has more money and he has more clout than any other third party candidate. Well, I can't say that about because Perot had a shit ton of money. Let's be honest, he's a billionaire, oil
I'm telling you, my
billionaire.
dad, he's not even dead yet. He's gonna roll in his grave when he hears that I might be voting for Kennedy. He hated Kennedy. So that's awesome, man. Anyway, I'm trying to talk my dad into voting for Kennedy. That'd be great. Vote for Kennedy. Get the little, the song going, and vote for Kennedy. Anyway, that would be awesome, man. Well, anyway, fun night tonight. It was a great Super
Great
Bowl.
episode.
Yeah, and it's been fun talking about all these things with you tonight. And looking forward next week. We probably have a guest,
Good.
familiar guest, and maybe even his brother, which is our missing in action dad bod. So I've got to just finalize everything with him.
No
But
promises.
we hope you guys are all having a great Super Bowl and had a great Super Bowl and having a good year. Now it's time to start the diets, everybody, officially. So yeah. Anyway, and orange. What's it called again? Orange what?
Orange Theory.
And there's one in Utah, right?
They're all over.
Okay. I gotta
Man,
figure I gotta
it's like
dig into
10 in
that.
Salt Lake.
You need to, like, get your coach on. We need to have them on too sometime,
Oh,
so,
totally get Ooh, that would be really good.
yeah.
Oh,
Wouldn't
they're
you do that?
awesome. They're
Okay.
so energetic. They're so fun.
That'd be a fun one, and
Fantastic.
we'd promote them for free, so okay, lead us out, Brent.
Thanks, everybody. Thank you, listener. Plug us. Let us know, let your friends know about us. Let us know how we're doing. And again, thank you guys for listening to Three Dad Bods. Have a good night.
Thanks, everybody. Alright, good job, man. That was fun.
Mhm.
So, I almost had 2 episodes there. We didn't quite go
Yeah.
that long on the politics, which is probably good. So, people probably don't wanna hear about. Dude, I'm excited about RFK, though. I might,